Hey everybody, this is Thy Company Gaming here for the live stream. Uh, Today is April 17th, 2019. I am, here we go, let's just put that as a Russian simulator. Okay, so I'm making a video here for you viewers who have asked for me to teach them Russian. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I've had several people request for me, basically based on some of my videos, where you see me or hear me speak Russian, um, for me to basically teach them. So, what I'm going to do is try to teach you all through the perspective of like an American or English speaker trying to learn the language. So this is what it's sort of oriented towards. Um, So if you're an English speaker, first thing I want to explain what exactly Russian is. Like, if I had to explain it in a mental fashion, um, first, where is Russia? Uh, so, for those who don't know where Russia is located, this is the U.S. Here is England. Here, I don't know if you're from Australia or New Zealand. I know Charlie is from New Zealand. Uh, Russia's actually still quite far away from me as well. But Russia is European and Asian in the sense that, or from what I considered, there's like a mountain range. I think it's called the Ural Mountains. Divides, I would say, European and Asian Russian or Russia. And also do excuse me as well because I am feeling a little bit sick, so that's why my voice might sound off. But yeah, capital of Russia is Moscow. It used to be St. Petersburg, and they've been kind of changing around here and there. Um, but yeah, I'll do a little bit more to that later. But first thing I would like to also go over um, a little bit of history here is that Russian language, you had like Old Slavic language. Let me see if there is such thing as a Slavic alphabet. Oh yeah, here we go. Sort of was like that. Then it kind of went more to something like that. You might see it as well. Um, this is a little bit more, I would say, modern. But this is not current Russian. Current Russian would be this right here. And as you can tell, it has very similar things to Latin alphabet and Greek the way as well. Like we have Latin here. This is Greek. This is sort of Greek. Latin as well. But I'll go into that in a second as well because I want to also pull up the Latin alphabet. Yeah. All right, I'll be right back. Give you all a moment to kind of study the English alphabet, and also I'll go to the Russian as well here. This is the Russian. I'm gonna pull it up like this. Be right back. All right. So, first big difference is in the Russian alphabet, there are more letters in the Russian alphabet than in English or Latin here. So that's kind of like your basics there. So let me go over the alphabet here. There are some letters in the Russian alphabet that are similar to Latin. I would almost say it's the exact copy. For example, A is A, except for it's not in the sense of it being an A sound, but more like an ah, like Latin ah. Like instead of saying like apple or hat, it's more like let me think of a, I'm trying to think of an example. Like if you know, like say Spanish, for example, the same A is in that. To give you an example, like you might know like the English name Anthony. The Russian equivalent would be Anton. So it's like a sound, Anton, Anton. So this is your A. Next letter is B. B looks like a lowercase b. So this is your AB. It also follows the same thing here as well. Like, alphabet, which is alphabet, the actual thing of alphabet. If you know first two letters of Greek, it's alpha, beta, which over conversion and all that is basically alphabet. Um, which is sort of the same thing, except for Russian, it's not alphabet, it's alphavit. So the third letter, this uppercase B, is actually a V. V is in like Victor. Um, so A, B, V. This is like if you know gamma. Um, yeah, here we go. Gamma, um, which is sort of what it's copied off of. But it basically is your G in English, but not really a G. It's G as in like golf, so the G sound. Like great, golf, gum, gold. So it's a G sound, not a J or anything like that. So no like jumps or no juice or anything like that. So it's more like a G. So remember gamma basically. So A, B, V, G. This thing looks more like delta. You sometimes see it D written like this. Um, I've seen D also look like that as well, like this. But it's basically your D, so D. Um, as an example, like the Russian word to give is dat, like the verb dat. Um, so it's similar to like Latin to give. You might hear dar, like in Spanish is to give, dat in Russian. So it's you have a little bit of connection, similarity in Latin. But see, basically your D, it almost looks exactly like delta. Don't want Delta Airlines, Delta letter. There we go. Yeah, basically it's like delta except for it has legs. So you can write it like this. You can write it um, like that, like a triangle like delta. It basically is the same, but there's two ways to write it. Um, both ways are correct, but most likely you'll see it something like the triangle um, or like this. So it's A, B, V, G, D. So it's kind of like A, B, V, G, D, sort of. A, B, V, G, D. Yeah. So I like to compare this to like if you're saying like yes and you're being informal, you'd be like, yeah, like, yeah, that's correct. Instead of saying yes, that's correct. It's what I think is the most close to. So yeah, but there's a little bit more, um, I would say like an emphasis on the E part. So yeah. So you kind of, in your mind, you're trying to make more of that sound, the yeah sound. So yeah, like almost like you're making an emphasis on that. So it's sort of like your E in the sense of it's like for example in English when you have eggplant, eh, it's similar to that as if, but it's almost as if you have a Y in front of it. So yeah, so it's A B V G D yeah. So that's your first six letters. Oh, speaking of which this is not the Russian alphabet. This is it. So let me open that up. Here we go. A B V G D yeah. So it's kind of like your Y E. Yo. So it's like Y O. Um, exactly like it makes the same exact sound like if you know Spanish. I is yo. Same thing in Russian. So Y O. So it's yo. And you can remember it because there's two dots always above it. A B V G D yeah yo. And then you have this letter that looks like two backwards K's. Um, that is a letter that you don't see in English. It also makes a sound that's not in English, but it makes a sound that's je. Um, best way I explain it, if you know like English to French, for example, to eat in English, in French it is manger,
Manger.
manger. So that je sound,
Manger.
je. To give you the example when it's used in Russian, zhuk is a beetle,
Жук.
so zhuk. So that zh sound um, is what this is. So abvgd, yeah, your, zh. This three right here is basically your z. So z. Abvgd, yeah, your, zh, z. And these are kind of like how you pronounce the letters, like the letter names. So abvgd, yeah, your, zh, z. E is the next letter. So E is like the sound as in key, like if you're opening a car using your key or keys. That E sound is what that letter stands for. It's like a backwards N, but that's E. Uh, the next letter is E kratkoye. E kratkoye. Let me see how to exactly explain that. That's basically like an E sound as well, but let me see how I can explain it. Let me switch over to Russian here and I can, here we go, Russian.
Йод. Йод. Йод.
So, what is this? Rohan, hi Thai, were you looking up Funyuns earlier? Here, Funyun. Last time I saw you, you had 101 subs. You've grown? Yes, I have. Yes, thank you. Um, so this e kratkoje basically is like e kratkoje basically means like short, so it's like a short e. Um, I would almost say it's like the same thing, but it's just you don't say it as long. So as example, like iodine, the chemical, you would say iod, but I would say it's almost like the same thing. Um, so ABVGD je yožeze i kratke K basically is your K, so like kappa. Kappa is which is the Greek thing. So K is in key, as in king, as in um, same K as in like compound, the same kind of like K sound, the K sound. So ABVGD je yožeze i kratke K L. You can see it basically it's your L. You see it like this. Sometimes you see it more like, let's find another example. You might see it exactly like lambda. Which is your, yeah, you might see it like this. Like a, kind of like an up, like a caret symbol or like a arrow pointing up. But basically it's your L. M as in regular Latin M. N, so an H in Russian, like the H letter that looks like H in Latin, is actually an N. So your N as in nose, as in nutmeg, as in nature or natural. So the N letter or noise, I should say, is what that H stands for. So basically, it's like KLMN, KLMN. Um, this is your O here, but you don't say O, you say O. Like, is it Latin O? Um, for example, cat is quot, so that O, it's almost like, basically it's a Latin O, not an American O, or um, like you wouldn't say or. Um, basically, that's how I would, so basically we're practicing O, not O, O. Um, this is now your pe. This is letter. So this is like your P. Almost looks like pie, sort of. About pizza. What pie? Here we go. So it looks like pie. Um, Greek letter. Yeah, P. That's what that is. Now next you have your Russian R, which looks like English P, but it's an R. So basically, think R when Russian P, if that makes any sense. Uh, so that's kind of one thing you have to kind of get used to, but that's R. And it's an R not in the sense of it being like an English R, but more like Latin, like R. So it's you almost like rolling your R's there, if you know what that is. So it's not like R, it's R. Um, like I know, for example, Spanish speakers would be able to properly say the noise. So it's your R's there, but practice doing that. This is your S. So C's are like S, and it's an S as in like snake, snatch. So that S like S as in snake. T is the same as in English. It's basically T. Like tiger is tiger. Um, so there's an example. So that's your T. Y's are your like U's. So like ooh. So that's your U's there. This next letter is your F. It's like F. Um, like fountain would be Fantan. So that's that. This next letter that looks like an X is like an H, like H. As an example, instead of saying like hot dog, Russians you might hear them say hot dog. Um, so that's basically your H sound there. Next letter is T, S together. So as an example, you might hear Russian like Russian king being called Tsar. Um, so it's like a Tsar, like TS sound there. Next letter that looks like a sort of looks like four, but not really a four, is Ch. So it's like the sound like you would hear a chair. Like the Ch sound is what that letter makes there. Next letter is Sh, like SH. Um, so Sh. Next letter is Xia. No wait, my bad. Xia. So it's like SH but like a Y at the end. So Sha, Xia. Um, so we go over the letters right here, right before we go into these here, because these are a little bit confusing. These little B's here. So A, B, V, G, D, E, Ё, Ж, Z, I краткой, K, L, M, N, O, P, R, S, T, U, F, H, C, Ч, Ш, Щ. So that's kind of what you have there. Then you have three letters here. We'll go with this middle one here, which is like almost compared to like the ill as in ill, sort of like I feel ill or sick. Um, that's similar to how it would be. So similar to the way you would say it in eggs, like but um, that's that noise that makes. Now, these two letters, the one to the left and the one to the right here, they are considered letters, but in my mind, I see them more like symbols, um, in the sense that they direct the speaker into how to pronounce usually the last letter of a word. So you have um, tвердый знак and мягкий знак. Basically, and znak means symbol, so that's why I think symbol. Tвердый means hard, мягкий means soft. So that means like how do you want to say like T as in T or T, like basically how much emphasis you would say into that letter, usually like a consonant. Um, and they don't really make a noise themselves, they basically direct the speaker as in how to pronounce it. Um, Next letter, which looks like a backwards E, is like eh. So eh as an Eskimo. So similar to like your English eh. That's kind of how I would explain it. And then you have this one that looks like a 10 with like a dash in it is you. So like Y U, because you have yeah, your, you, and last letter ya, which looks like a backwards R. Um, so that's kind of the simple way that this goes again. So let me go over the alphabet again here. So A, B, V, G, D, E, J, Ž, Z, I, I краткой, K, L, M, N, O, P, R, S, T, U, F, H, C, Ч, Ш, Щ, твердый знак, И, мягкий знак, Ю, Я. So that's the alphabet. So let's do this. I'm going to pull up some Russian, like very simple words for you all to practice. Simple Russian words here. Or how about this? Because what I'm looking for, like simple words here. Here's an example. So, can you guess what this word is? As you can tell, let me open up magnifying glass here. You have here ura. So you have ura, ra, which basically in English is hooray. So it's a cheer. Um, hooray basically is what it is. So ura. Uh, let's find let's find another. So we have alphabet. So alphabet. ALFAVIT, sort of how you would sort of recognize it. So alphabet. Let's find another one here. Another, oh, here's the example. Like we had yod, which was the iodine, and we went over. So yod, yog, which is like, I would say it's yoga, but basically it's like a stretch. And then you have yogurt, which is yogurt. So with A's here. Arbuz, so arbuz, which is a watermelon. Aist, aist, which is a stork, or yeah, basically it's a stork. Apelsin, which is an orange. Notice sometimes they put like an apostrophe here. Um, this is supposed to symbolize you not doing that much of an emphasis on the L in apelsin. Um, basically, this is where you have your mягкий знак or your soft symbol, and there is a basically designation to not emphasize the L that much there. So apelsin. Let's go with ya. So your last letter of the Russian alphabet, ya. So we go with this word here first. Yakor. Yakor, which is an anchor. Uh, Another one with the T. We have Tigor, which is tiger. Telephone, which is a phone. Tulpan, which is a tulip. Alright, let's go to just to show you all, like to make a note here. There are no words to start with this letter because it's a symbol. It doesn't in itself make a sound. Because of that, they don't have that as a first letter of a word. Uh, Try saying this. I'll be right back. All right. So back here we have. Let's see here. We have hol. Sorry, holodinic. Holodinic here. Now, the thing is, in Russian, when you have letters, especially if they're like two O's together, um, or like near each other, sometimes you might hear the first O spoken like an A. Um, but usually, if you hear people say O's, they will kind of understand you. But typically, in regular Russian speak, the first O of a word that has two O's in it usually is spoken like an A, холодильник. But whenever I speak it, I don't really. I usually go by the A, but I don't make a big emphasis on the A. Uh, Here we go. Like chameleon is chameleon. Bread is хлеб. Uh, this is Hubiak. I don't know what that is. I think I think it's a gerbil or something. But let's see here. Um, let's find a place to practice here. So right now we're practicing a little bit on the speech here. So all right, let's see if I can open up this here. So we have a little bit of a letter with pictures here. So you have A, arbuz, which is a watermelon. B, baran, which is a ram. V, vinograd, which is grapes. G, грибы, which is mushrooms. D, dom, which is house. I'm not sure what that is right there. Let's skip that for now. So, yeah, yo, yolka, yolka, which is a like a pine tree. Żuk, which is a beetle. Zond, Zond, which is an umbrella. I'm not sure what that is. I think that's a turkey. Um, E, Indica, which is a turkey, which is sort of funny how they came up with the name, which is basically it's Indica is sort of comes from Indian, but I don't really know why they did that, but it's Indica. Yog, so your yoga. K, uh, Corona, which is a crown. L, well, I think it's a horse there. Lashatka. M, Machina, car. N, Noski, which are socks. O, Ochki, which are like glasses. And notice I say A, but it's written like Ochki. P, or P, Paravos, or train. R, R, we have a rose there, or Rosa. S, S, Son, or sun. T, Tiger, tiger. What is that? I think that's okay. So that is supposed to be an iron, like you're ironing clothes. So utok, which is an iron. I'm not sure what that is, but that's an F, like f. H or ha, ha. Хлеб, which is bread. Ts, ts sound. Ch, or ch. Chassis, which are chassis can be used for a clock or basically anything that has like a clock in it. So chassis like a watch, also chassis, or chassis like your little alarm clock on a bed stool is also considered chassis. Sh, shapka, like a hat. Um, I know that's some sort of fish like a barracuda. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. This is I don't know what that is right there. I don't recognize the images. Like elf, elf. Yulia. I think that's what this is, but basically it's a spinner. Ya or yabluk, which is an apple. So that kind of gives you a little simple thing to go over there. But I am going to try to look up some simple greetings here. All right. So Russian greetings for all occasions. So these are like simple um, greetings here. Okay. Most common one, which is your formal one, is zdrast, zdra, oh, sorry, здравствуйте. A little sick right now, that's why I'm having trouble here. Здравствуйте. How do you kind of break it up? Zdra, like ZDRA, VST, VU, ITE. Zdrast. So it's almost like the V isn't really used here. So it's Здравствуйте. Здравствуйте. So the first V in this word, for some reason, not really used. The workhorse of Russian greetings, Здравствуйте, is the most common way to say hello. It may be a mouthful, but it's definitely worth taking the time to learn. This is like your formal hello. You have formal hello, and then you have your informal one. So, just as in with many Latin languages, you have a formal hello and an informal. I understand in English, there's not really much of one. You might have greetings, or as like a way to greet someone. Um, but hello is in Russian. You have a formal division and then a informal division. So you have Здравствуйте. So kind of forget about the first V here. So Zdrast, Z-D-R-A-S-T, Zdrast, Вуйте, Здравствуйте, Вуйте, Здравствуйте, Здравствуйте. So basically practice and repeat that over and over again until you think you got it down. Um, but yeah, it's a tough word to learn at first, especially when you're first starting out, but it is definitely a word that I would advise to learn. It's your formal hello in Russian. Здравствуйте. Many people have it almost like a requirement because if you say this other one, um, in a formal setting, people might not be bothered by it. Some people might be. Some people might not care one way or the other. Some people might even promote it depending on who you're speaking with. But like in a formal business setting, I would only do здравствуйте. 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 So basically practice that over and over again. Um, Additionally, if you're speaking in a group, здравствуйте is also the preferred choice because you're speaking usually in formally situations. When you're speaking more than one person, usually always. Um, and whenever you're in doubt, you should go to здравствуйте. Здравствуйте, здравствуйте, здравствуйте. If it's too much of a mouthful, you can also shorten it to здрасте, здрасте, as long as the situation isn't too formal. When you're in like a high formal situation, здравствуйте is what you should go to. And here's also an interesting thing here. Здравствуйте and здравствуй also come from the verb здравствовать, which means to be healthy or to live long. Which is not really like a very common verb you hear. But здравствуйте is a word greeting that comes up very often. Second thing, which is your allo, it's not hello. Allo is what you say on the phone. As you can see, basically if you learn French, if you learn Spanish, both languages have the same thing. You say allo when you're on the phone. It's not hello. So allo is, you might also hear it sometimes pronounced as allo, like as if there's a Y in there. But you hear both. So allo or allo is the same thing, but I usually say it as allo. It's also used to mean, it's not is also used to mean hello. However, this is most commonly used when answering the phone. and not often used in other contexts. Luckily for English speakers, this is a very easy Russian word to learn, to remember to, and pronounce. Then you have привет. Привет is your informal hello, like saying hi is the equivalent. Привет. So if you're like friends, basically is when you would use it. Since it's easy and common, you might find yourself using this one quite often as well. Let's see what this is. Okay, this is a very uncommon greeting, but you might hear it. Приветник or приветик is what I mean. Sorry, I thought that was H for a second there. Uh, приветник is your little greeting. So it's even less formal way of saying hi. It's most often used by women. It may also come out as feminine. That being said, it usually comes out particularly sweet. So feminine in the sense that I personally have only heard it from like young women, приветник. I've never heard it in like men don't really say it. You could hear it though if a man says it to like children, like especially their own children in like a sweet like family way, but don't really hear it often. Uh, what is this? Oh, so this is a new like if you're considered to be a young hip Russian, this is like your English like mix. Hayushki. So you have hi. It's a diminutive take on the English word hi. Hayushki. So your little highs. So if you hang out with young run hip Russians who are trying to learn English, so people are trying to consider themselves cool and all that, they might try to do that. Uh, and they do quite often sound familiar to English. Um, and they're called Anglicisms. So they're basically derived from common English language greetings. So hayushki. So hi and yo, like yo. Um, hey, hi, yo are also pronounced quite similarly to their American counterparts. Very similar, not exactly. Hey, hi, yo. It's more like what you would say it. So just to quickly go back, uh, здравствуйте. That's the thing to remember. I would say this is the most important thing that we've covered so far. Allo is when you on the phone. Привет is like what you say to your little friends and all that. Приветник is like what a girl perhaps would say, or maybe like a young woman, or someone that's like um, in the case of it being like an older person, they might say to like somebody that they really know, um, like really have a close relationship to. Like say if you have a neighbor who you've known and been friends with for like a long time, um, they might use it to you, like if you're, especially if you're like children, but you wouldn't really commonly hear it in like, especially not in a formal situation. It's more like a little greeting, like as they explain here, hiya or howdy. Um, okay, so next one here is zdorovo. You might hear it as zdorova sometimes. Zdorova is more common to what you hear. In this case, it's the last O being A. Sometimes you might even hear A's in the first and last there. Zdorova is what I say it. Um, Zdorova means like, I'll say it's like cool. Or like wow is what they mean here. Zdorovo is well done. Basically, it's like great, sort of. Um, Zdorova is an informal greeting that can be, well, Zdorova, I don't really hear that. And you don't go up to someone and be like, Zdorova. You don't really say that. Um, I would say it's like, hey, I disagree with this sentence here. To me, that doesn't make sense. Zdorova basically is more like, wow, or well done. Uh, oh, I see what they mean here. So you might hear Starova. Starova basically is a greeting, which is basically equivalent to hey. So here's what they mean here. So you have Zdorova, Zdarova. Zdarova is a greeting which is like hello, but it's informal. Zdorova means well done. So look at the rules here. Um, when the stress is on the second O, this is a greeting. Zdarova. Zdarova is a greeting. Zdorova, the way I'm saying it, where Zdorova with a first O versus second O. First O means like wow, well done. So I didn't quite read that there, but that's what that means. So Zdarova means hello, that's informal. Zdorova means like well or cool or well done. Um, so here's your next little three here. Доброе утро, добрый день, добрый вечер, добрый ночь, ночи, ночи. Don't really. So this is like добрый is like good. Um, basically means good morning. Доброе утро, добрый утро, good morning. Добрый день, good day. Добрый вечер. Um, I consider добрый вечер is to be good afternoon, not good evening, because it says it's used during evening hours but not during the night. So I consider that to be afternoon. Добрый вечер. Добрый ночь. I don't really hear it as ночи. Доброй ночи. Don't really hear that. But it basically means good night. So spokoj, yeah, I don't hear it with the E at the end here. So доброй ночь, спокойной ночь. Спокойной ночь uh, is not actually a greeting. So it basically means like, it means calm night, but it's used as it like, yeah, like farewell before bed. Basically, have a good sleep. Is how I understand it. What's people saying here? Let's see here. Hi there, Thai. I will try to stream tomorrow. I was very sick today. Cool, you're almost at 200 subscribers. Tea or tear? Tea or tear? Um, so I'm thinking you're referring to what the Russian tea is, like t, similar to English tea. So your mic went quiet. That's better. LOL. Why do you hardly ever read chat? Like you do that when you are playing a game or when you can't. Because I go over and try to teach him stuff, playing games, I can see why, but I cannot understand when you're not playing games. Because I don't get a lot of people writing, and that's why I don't constantly go and check the chat. That's why. Um, and I don't have a system in place where I can read my chat without having to go to Streamlabs here. That's why. So I need to fix that. So what are we doing now? So let's go over, like, do a quick review. So the alphabet, I'm going to go over this fairly quickly. Take a moment to read over this. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So the alphabet, Russian alphabet here. Look at, this is the first line here that I'm going by. That's in bold here. So you have here A, B, V, G, D, E, Ё, Ж, Z, I, и краткое, K, L, M, N, O, P, R, S, T, T, like there's like an E at the end. P, R, S, T, U, F, H, C, Ч, Ш, Щ, твердый знак or hard symbol, мягкий знак. Notice how I pronounce it as like an H. That's how I pronounce it. That's how everybody I know who speaks Russian pronounce it. I don't know why there's a G in there. Never hear it pronounced as mягкий. That's the way people say it for some reason. Мягкий знак. E, like Eskimo. U, я. So A, B, V, G, D, E, Ё, Ж, Z, I, краткое, K, L, M, N, O, P, R, S, T, U, F, H, C, Ч, Ш, Щ, твердый знак, мягкий знак, Ю, я. So that's the Russian alphabet there. Now let's go to greetings right quick. Quickly go over this. We check chat right quick here. And that's why people leave right away. I gotta go to bed now. Bye. Okay, cool. All right. Hello, hello. So 18 ways to say hey and more. So здравствуйте, здравствуйте. Your former hello. Allo, which is what you say over the phone. Привет, your informal hi. Приветник is like something like a girl would say. It's not. I would almost say it's not that important to know. Hayushki is like a Neo-Russian, like Anglicism. Basically, it's again a diminutive of hi, but I wouldn't really bother to remember that. Starova, Starova, Starovo, Zdorova is like your well. Zdorovo, Starovo, I guess is like your greeting there. Доброе утро, доброе утро, добрый день, Dobry wieczór. Dobry noc. Spokojny noc. So that's quickly like a lesson there. But yeah, just to show you all some simple Russian things for you all who are watching. But yeah, if you like this video, let me know. Share friends and family. Give this video a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and I'll see if I can do some more. And hopefully I'll do one when I'm not sick either. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Have you all a good time. Bye now.